Shalom. Y'all already know who it is. Moshe. Ben Yasharel, your hostess with the mostest. Like, share, and subscribe. Hey, look, check this out. I had an epiphany. And in this epiphany, I began to think about, the three houses. There's three houses, you know what I mean? And there is an old telltale that goes back to these three houses. You know what I'm saying? The three little pigs, right? You know what I'm saying? And the big bad wolf. You know what I'm saying? So we all know this story, right? So we would consider that the house that is made of straw is the flesh. And the house that was made with sticks is the soul. And the house that is made with stones is the spirit. And so everybody know this, this fable or this parable that they taught you as a child growing up. You know what I mean? And we know that, the two houses, the straw house, it was blown down. And then the the stick house that was made with the sticks, it was blown down. But the brick house, it wasn't blown down. It couldn't be blown down. And so the reason why I'm saying that is because there is two houses in the scripture. There is two houses. There is the house of God, and then there is the house of Israel. Now, the house of God is not a building. The house of God is your body. Your body is the temple of the Most High Yahuwah. And so we must understand that in the Old Testament, before the spirit could live in the body, it couldn't live in the body because the sins wasn't atoned for yet. The sins of man had to be atoned before the spirit could rest in the body. You see what I'm saying? And that's why Paul said we have these treasures in hidden vessels. So you have to understand that Yeshua said, this temple I'll destroy in 3 days. And I rebuild it. He wasn't talking about a building because he understood that the spirit, couldn't ascend upon wouldn't rest in a building. Because the spirit couldn't operate in a building. The spirit has to operate in us as people. And then you have the house of Israel, a people made up of the 12 tribes. So there's only two houses. That building that you operate in is not a house. It's just a building. And then when you go back and you read about, Yahusha and what happened to the building, the temple was destroyed. That's the temple that they're trying to rebuild right now in Jerusalem. And the only reason that land is not going to be destroyed because it's going to be restored back to its rightful owner. And that promise was made to Abraham. You know what I mean? But, it's only two houses, man. It's not no, when you go back in the Old Testament, there was a makeshift temple. And that makeshift temple could be moved. And the spirit would come down and rest up in the temple as long as, when the sacrifices and everything was done up on the feast, that it would come down and rest up on that temple. But other than that, the spirit didn't reside in the temple. When you look at the Ark of the Covenant, the 10 Commandments was in the Ark of the Covenant. And the only way that the spirit would come down is if the 10 Commandments was in the Ark of the Covenant. If the covenant was in the spirit, in the holies of holies. Everything had to be in accordance. The body had to be subjected to the soul, and the soul had to be subjected to the spirit. That was what the temple was representing. When he showed you the makeshift temple, even the temple of Solomon. Even the rebuilding of the temple with Nahum, which was destroyed, which Darius allowed for Nahum to rebuild the temple. So how do you rebuild the temple? You can only rebuild the temple through the word, man. I'm telling you, like, you know, people already understand and know what they doing. You know what I'm saying? That's why they gave you the 3 little pigs, you know, because a pig is an unclean animal. You know what I'm saying? According to the scriptures, you know, and so, you know, us as Yasharel, you know, we have been made unclean by the teachings, by the false teachings of the heathens. You see what I'm saying? Because these teachings don't line up with the word. But see, the reason why people do and do the things that they do, because there is no fear of God. There is no reverence of God anymore. Because, you know what I'm saying, it's like a person taking your kindness for weakness. Because we take the mercy and the grace of God as which is his kindness for weakness. But a lot of that is about to change, you know what I'm saying? Because a lot of people, you know, they don't want to get right. You know what I'm saying? So what happens is when the mouthpieces of God come and correct them, you know, they start throwing stones. So, you know, it's a sad thing to see that, you know what I'm saying, people don't want to be corrected. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, I just thought that I just jump on here and help you see that, you know, the 3 little pigs, you know, the unclean spirits, you know, these unclean spirits, you know, within these buildings. And so that's why it's so important that we understand Jeremiah 31:31, because the difference, you know, in the so-called New Testament or the so-called New Covenant is it's not new, it's renewed. The renewed covenant was how the spirit rested in the body. The renewed covenant that was made with Yasharel was that, you know, it would no longer rest in a building. You know, that it would rest in your body. You know what I'm saying? That's why when you seen Yeshua or Yahusha being baptized, that the spirit descended up on him. And when the spirit descended up on him, you know, he was baptized in fire. This is why David said it's like fire shut up in my bones. Because the word is a fire. And what does fire do? Fire cleanses you. Fire purges you from sin. And so you got to understand that was the difference between Saul and David. Saul was operating in the flesh. Saul was more concerned about his position, more concerned about his title, more concerned about if people loved him or not, rather than about the will of the Father, which is his word. I don't see how people don't understand this. I don't see how people can't comprehend that when Moshe went up the mountain to get the 2 sapphire tablets that was written in stone, something that's written in stone can't be changed. I don't understand how people can't comprehend it. Is it because they're evil? Because they're wicked? Because they love living in sin and rolling in dirt and in filth? I can't comprehend that. You see what I'm saying? Because the word is sure. The word is clear on what it says. The word does not lie. So when Moshe went up that mountain, you know, to get the tablets, who was he talking to? He talked to God face to face. He was talking to Yeshua, Yahusha. He was talking to Yeshua because Yeshua is salvation. He has many names. So, but he came in in the time of the disciples as Yahusha, which is his name, his God-given name. So in the Old Testament, he was the teacher. He was the rabbi in the mountain teaching Moshe the laws, the commandments and the laws. I don't see how people can't comprehend this. You know, and then we try to come tell you the truth and you don't want to accept it. You know, it's easy to understand, you know what I'm saying, that the Most High Yahweh and his spirit is not gonna go against the word. How can a 3-chord string be easily broken? How? The spirit is not gonna disagree with the word, and the word is not gonna disagree with the Father. Me and my Father are one. What is it that y'all don't understand about that? Y'all sit up here and watch me all the time, and then when you get me in your presence, then you want to try to, you know, contradict the things that I say. Of the covenant rested within the holies of the holies. So if you don't have the commandments in your brain, in your mind, because that's where the commandments is kept. It's not kept in the flesh. You can't keep the Torah in the flesh. Your body craves of the things of this world. And that's what Paul was explaining to us. You know what I'm saying? He said that the law is perfect. It's us that's not perfect. You know what I'm saying? So when we look to the law is what regulates us and what gives us the boundaries to abide by. And people steadily keep on talking about, well, the law is done away with. That's why it's not good for a woman to teach. That women need to sit down and be up under their husbands and be silent. That's found in, I think, 1st or 2nd Timothy. I forgot where it is. But anyway, you know what I'm saying? Like I said, you know, you got, you know, the Ark of the Covenant, which is in the holies of holies. See, your soul is represented by the holy place, which is your will, your intellect, and your emotions. So your will and your intellect and your emotions have to be in line with your spirit, which is in the holies of holies, which is your mind, which is your kingdom, which is where, you know what I'm saying, you think your consciousness and your subconsciousness dwells. So you got to be conscious, because you can't operate in the subconscious. You got to be conscious of the word. And if your will and your intellect and your emotions don't line up with the word, then, you know, you definitely not going to be able to follow that. You know what I'm saying? Because your flesh definitely not going to follow it. Your flesh craves the things of the world. And this is what Paul was explaining to you. This is the distinction that Paul was making to you in the epistles and not no New Testament. In his writings, those are just writings. There's not a new law. And this is what people fail to realize. That makeshift temple, you know what I'm saying, is just like your flesh. You know what I'm saying? The spirit could only dwell upon. That's why you in the Old Testament, you would hear the prophet say, and the spirit came upon me. The spirit didn't live in them like the spirit lives in us, and the spirit confirms the word. People sitting up here blaspheming the word of the Most High. You know what I'm saying? Bearing false witness, talking about the spirit is going against the word. He said, I'm going to send you the comforter. And the comforter is going to do what? Bear witness to the word. This is why he said that, you know what I'm saying, today I call heaven and earth against you. Because the spirit is the heaven and the earth is the word. The earth is in all of the word, in all of the earth. And the spirit confirms that the Most High separated the waters from under us from the waters above. It said in the beginning when he created the earth that the spirit hovered over the waters. Man, y'all better stop blaspheming the spirit and talking about the spirit. The spirit don't agree with the word. Man, the Most High Yahweh God is going to deal with y'all. I'm telling y'all better stop playing with him, man. Shalom.